I got burned by you. Bron Breakker's vicious betrayal on Raw forces Bronson Reed to cut all ties. You have got to be absolutely joking if you think I'm supposed to sit here and accept that Bron Breakker, the so-called future of WWE who's been preaching about loyalty and the Vision's unity for months, just turned on Bronson Reed in the most cowardly way possible by hitting him with a steel chair during their tag team match, costing them the victory, and then standing over his broken body smirking like he planned this betrayal from day one. But here's what's going to make your blood absolutely boil. This wasn't just a spontaneous attack born from frustration or jealousy, this was a calculated assassination orchestrated by Paul Heyman, who's been planting seeds of division between Bron and Bronson for weeks, and the leaked audio recording from backstage proves that Heyman told Bron Bronson is holding you back from your true potential and that eliminating him now would make Bron the undisputed face of the Vision before Brock Lesnar returns and takes all the spotlight. I'm about to break down the most shocking betrayal in Monday Night Raw history, reveal every subtle hint over the past month that showed Bron was planning to turn on Bronson, expose Paul Heyman's master manipulation that turned two brothers in arms into bitter enemies, and show you Bronson Reed's absolutely devastating response where he not only cut all ties with the Vision but promised to destroy Bron Breakker so completely that the Steiner family legacy will be erased from WWE. And before you say, "I saw this coming," wait until you hear what Bron said in his post-betrayal interview that suggests he's been lying about his motivations this entire time and that the Vision was never about collective dominance, it was always about Bron's dominance with everyone else as expendable pawns. Let's start with the tag team match itself because the context of how the betrayal happened makes it even more devastating and personal. Monday Night Raw opened with a huge announcement. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, the twin destroyers of the Vision, would be facing the current WWE Tag Team Champions in a non-title match. Win this match, and the Vision gets added to the championship match at the next premium live event, potentially becoming dual champions who hold both the World Heavyweight Championship, Bron, and the Tag Team Championships. This was massive for the Vision's credibility. It would prove they're not just dominant individuals but a cohesive unit that can succeed in multiple divisions. Paul Heyman cut a pre-match promo selling this as the Vision's coronation as the most complete faction in WWE history and positioning Bron and Bronson as the most devastating tag team combination modern wrestling has ever seen. The match itself was fantastic. Bron and Bronson were working together perfectly, quick tags, double team moves, protecting each other from the champion's offense. They looked unstoppable. The crowd was split between respecting the Vision's dominance and wanting the fan-favorite tag champions to overcome the odds. Classic David versus Goliath storytelling. Question for the comments: did you suspect Bron would turn on Bronson during this match, or did the betrayal catch you completely off guard? Be honest. 20 minutes into the match, both teams are exhausted and desperate. The tag champions hit a devastating double-team finisher on Bronson Reed and go for the pin. Bron, as the partner on the apron, has a choice: he can break up the pin and save the match, or he can let Bronson take the loss. For a split second, Bron hesitates. The crowd notices. The announcers notice. Bronson, lying on the mat being pinned, has his hand reaching toward Bron begging for help. Bron finally moves to break up the pin, but he's too late. The referee counts 3 and the match is over. The Vision loses. Their tag title opportunity is gone. Bronson immediately rolls out of the ring, clearly frustrated but not yet suspicious of Bron's intentions. The tag champions celebrate while Bron stands in the ring looking pleased, not upset about losing, not frustrated about the missed opportunity, but almost satisfied that things went exactly as planned. Bronson gets back in the ring to confront Bron about the hesitation. "What the hell was that? You could have broken up the pin. Why did you hesitate?" Bron's response is cold: "I didn't hesitate. I tried to save you. It's not my fault you got pinned. Maybe if you were faster, stronger, better, we wouldn't be in this position." Whoa. That's not the response of a tag team partner who's disappointed about losing. That's the response of someone who's been waiting for an excuse to blame their partner for failure. Bronson looks shocked because Bron has never talked to him like this before. The Vision has always been about mutual respect and collective strength. But now Bron is openly questioning Bronson's abilities? Bronson steps closer. "You better watch your mouth, Bron. We're supposed to be brothers in the Vision. We don't turn on each other. We don't blame each other. We figure out how to do better together." Bron's response? He laughs. Not a friendly laugh. A condescending, dismissive laugh that makes it clear he doesn't see Bronson as an equal. "Brothers? Brothers. Bronson, let me explain something to you. You were useful when I needed muscle. You were useful when I needed someone to share the workload. But now you're just dead weight holding me back from reaching my full potential." Drop your comment right now. What was the exact moment you realized Bron was about to betray Bronson? Tell me the specific line or action. The crowd is stunned into silence because they're watching the Vision implode in real time. Bronson's face goes from shocked to angry. "Dead weight? I've been carrying your ass through half our matches. I've been the one taking the big bumps. I've been the one sacrificing my body so you can look good. And this is how you repay me." Bron smirks. "You've been doing your job. and now your job is done. The Vision doesn't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. So here's what's going to happen, you're going to step aside, accept that your time in the Vision is over, and let me continue building this faction into my vision of dominance. Or what? Bronson interrupts, getting right in Bron's face now, both men chest to chest in a tense standoff. Or I'll make you step aside, Bron says quietly, menacingly. And then he shoves Bronson hard, sending him stumbling backward. That's the line that can't be uncrossed. Bronson charges at Bron, but Bron is ready, he ducks under Bronson's attack, rolls out of the ring, and grabs a steel chair from ringside. The crowd is screaming warnings to Bronson, but Bronson is too focused on Bron to notice the weapon. Bron slides back into the ring with the chair, and when Bronson turns around, crack, chair shot right to the skull. Bronson goes down hard, but Bron doesn't stop. Crack, another chair shot to the back. Crack, another to the ribs. Crack, crack, crack. Bron is absolutely relentless, hitting Bronson with chair shots over and over while the crowd boos louder than they have all night. This isn't just a betrayal, this is an assault. This is Bron trying to injure Bronson seriously enough that he can't come back for revenge. Finally, security and referees rush the ring to stop Bron. He drops the chair and backs away with his hands up, but there's no remorse on his face. No regret. Just cold calculation. Bron looks down at Bronson's broken body one last time, picks up his World Heavyweight Championship belt, and says loud enough for the cameras to pick up, "This is my vision now. And anyone who questions that will end up just like him." Bron walks up the ramp while medical staff tends to Bronson. The final image of the segment is Bronson being helped to his feet, blood trickling from his forehead, either hard way or a blade job, looking up at Bron with absolute hatred in his eyes. That look promised one thing, revenge. But here's where the story gets even more complex and infuriating. After Raw went off the air, backstage footage leaked, either intentionally by WWE or captured by someone with access, showing Paul Heyman in Bron's locker room immediately after the betrayal. And what Heyman said confirms what many suspected, he's been orchestrating this split for weeks. The footage shows Heyman congratulating Bron, perfect execution. Exactly as we discussed. You planted the seed of doubt during the match, you goaded him into confronting you, and then you struck when he was emotional and vulnerable. That's not just smart wrestling, that's smart business. And now you're the undisputed leader of the Vision with nobody to share the spotlight. What's your theory? Has Paul Heyman been planning this betrayal since the Vision formed, or did he make this decision recently? Give me your take. Bron's response is revealing. Bronson served his purpose. He helped us establish dominance. He helped me win the championship. But I always knew he'd become a liability eventually. The man has no finesse, no psychology. He just smashes things and expects that to be enough. That works in the short term, but long term? The Vision needs to evolve. And evolution means cutting away what's dead. Heyman nods approvingly, precisely. And when Brock returns in a few weeks, you'll have already established yourself as the true alpha of this group. Brock respects strength, but he respects ruthlessness even more. What you did to Bronson tonight proves you have both. You're ready for the next level. This leaked footage confirms that Bron and Heyman have been planning Bronson's removal from the Vision as part of a larger strategy to position Bron as the unquestioned leader before Brock Lesnar returns from his brief hiatus. They saw Bronson as a temporary asset who would eventually need to be discarded, and tonight was just the execution of a long-term plan. But Bronson Reed wasn't going to just accept this betrayal quietly. Later in the show, after being checked by medical staff and cleared of serious injury, though selling the beating is taking a toll, Bronson demanded microphone time. WWE gave it to him, and what followed was one of the most intense and personal promos of the year. Bronson stood in the ring, visibly in pain, with a bandage on his forehead and tape around his ribs. His voice was shaking with barely controlled rage. "Bron Breakker, you made the biggest mistake of your career tonight. You think attacking me from behind with a steel chair makes you strong? You think betraying your partner makes you a leader? All it makes you is a coward. A manipulative, backstabbing coward who couldn't beat me in a fair fight, so you had to resort to weapons and surprise attacks." The crowd was fully behind Bronson now. The man who'd been a heel as part of the Vision was suddenly the most sympathetic figure on Raw because everyone understands the pain of being betrayed by someone you trusted. "You said I was dead weight? You said I was holding you back? Let me tell you something about weight, Bron. It's not about how much you can carry, it's about how much you're willing to carry. And I was willing to carry you through every match, every promo, every moment where you weren't quite good enough on your own. I made you look better than you are. I protected you from exposing your weaknesses. And this is how you repay me." Bronson's intensity was building with every sentence. This wasn't scripted corporate wrestling speak, this felt real and raw. But here's what you don't understand, Bron. Here's what Paul Heyman failed to explain to you when he was whispering in your ear about cutting me loose. You didn't just betray a partner tonight. You betrayed the wrong partner. Because I don't need the Vision. I don't need Paul Heyman. I don't need anyone. I am a 330-pound wrecking machine who's going to dedicate every single day from now until I get my hands on you to making your life a living hell." The crowd was roaring at this point, fully invested in Bronson's quest for revenge. Do you think Bronson Reed can actually defeat Bron Breakker one-on-one, or is Bron too skilled? Give me your honest assessment. So consider this my official statement: I am cutting all ties with the Vision. I want nothing to do with your corrupt, manipulative, backstabbing faction. I don't acknowledge Bron Breakker as any kind of leader. I don't acknowledge Paul Heyman as any kind of mastermind. And I sure as hell don't acknowledge that what you did tonight was anything other than the actions of a coward who knew he couldn't beat me in a real fight. But here's what I do acknowledge: at the next premium live event, I'm going to get my hands on Bron Breakker. And when I do, I'm going to do to him what he did to me multiplied by 10. I'm going to break bones. I'm going to end careers. I'm going to make damn sure that when people remember Bron Breakker, they don't remember him as a champion or as a leader, they remember him as the guy who got destroyed by Bronson Reed. Bronson dropped the microphone and left the ring to massive cheers. The character shift from heel enforcer to wrong babyface seeking revenge was complete and believable because the story made sense emotionally. The wrestling internet exploded after this episode. Bron betrays Bronson was trending worldwide within minutes. Wrestling journalists were scrambling to get statements from WWE about whether this was a planned storyline or a shoot situation where real tensions boiled over. It's obviously a work, but the realism made people question it. The reaction from other wrestlers on social media was interesting. Several babyfaces expressed support for Bronson. Kevin Owens, been there. Know exactly how Bronson feels. Betrayal cuts deeper than any chair shot. Get your revenge, big man. Sami Zayn, the Vision just lost its most dangerous member. Bron made a huge mistake. Cody Rhodes' brotherhood means something. Clearly Bron never understood that, but some heels celebrated the betrayal as smart business. The Miz, this is why you should never trust anyone in this business. Bron did what he had to do to secure his position. Respect. Karrion Kross, the weak get eliminated. The strong survive. Bron just proved he's willing to do whatever it takes. Paul Heyman himself posted on social media, in the history of professional wrestling, the most successful individuals have always been willing to eliminate obstacles, even obstacles that once served a purpose. Bron Breakker just demonstrated why he's destined for greatness, while Bronson Reed demonstrated why he'll always be expendable. That post got ratioed hard by fans defending Bronson and calling out Heyman's hypocrisy. But Heyman doesn't care about being liked, he cares about creating heat for his clients, and this certainly accomplished that. The backstage WWE reaction has been reportedly positive about the storyline. Triple H allegedly loves when factions implode because it creates multiple new storylines from one angle. You've got Bron vs Bronson as the main feud. You've got questions about whether other Vision members, when Brock returns, will side with Bron or question his leadership. You've got potential for Bronson to find allies who also hate the Vision. Multiple directions to explore. What other wrestlers should get involved in the Bron vs Bronson feud? Give me your fantasy booking. The match between Bron and Bronson that will inevitably happen is going to be brutal. These are two of the most physically imposing wrestlers on the roster who work a hard-hitting style. Their eventual confrontation should be positioned as a fight, not a wrestling match, no disqualification or falls count anywhere or last man standing. Something with a stipulation that allows them to truly hurt each other. The psychology of the match writes itself. Bronson is the powerhouse seeking revenge, fighting on pure emotion and rage. Bron is the calculated champion trying to prove he made the right decision by eliminating Bronson, fighting with strategy and technique. Bronson should dominate early, overwhelming Bron with raw power and intensity. But Bron should find ways to slow Bronson down, target his injuries from the chair attack, and prove he's the smarter wrestler. The finish should be controversial. Maybe Bron wins through Heyman interference or by using a weapon when the referee is down. That way Bronson doesn't look weak in losing, and it sets up a rematch with an even more intense stipulation. Or maybe Bronson wins the first match, forcing Bron to invoke his rematch clause, showing that Bron underestimated Bronson's desire for revenge. Either way, this feud should last months, not weeks. The betrayal was too significant and too personal to resolve quickly. Build to a big blow-off match at WrestleMania or SummerSlam where one man definitively defeats the other and ends the rivalry. The question of Brock Lesnar's role when he returns is crucial. Does Brock side with Bron and help him fend off Bronson? Does Brock respect Bronson for wanting revenge and stay neutral? Or does Brock have his own agenda that involves playing both men against each other? Each option creates different storytelling possibilities. My prediction: Brock returns, assesses the situation, and decides that Bron's betrayal of Bronson was a smart tactical move that proves Bron has the ruthlessness needed to lead. Brock backs Bron, creating a 2-on-1 situation where Bronson is outnumbered and needs to find an ally of his own. That ally could be someone with history against the Vision, maybe Seth Rollins, maybe Roman Reigns if his situation changes, maybe even someone unexpected like CM Punk if he moves to Raw. The long-term implications of this betrayal for the Vision as a faction are significant. Can a group built on unity and dominance survive its two main enforcers turning on each other? Does Bron need to recruit new members to replace Bronson? Does the Vision even continue as a faction name, or does it become Bron Breakker and whoever Bron allows to stand near him? Make sure you're subscribed to Wrestling Newsletter because this Bron vs Bronson feud is going to dominate Monday Night Raw for the foreseeable future. Hit that like button, share this with everyone who needs to understand that Bron's betrayal wasn't spontaneous but calculated, and tell me in the comments #Team Bron or #Team Bronson? Whose side are you on in this war? Can you ever forgive a betrayal this vicious, or is Bron permanently a villain in your eyes? Bron Breakker viciously betrayed Bronson Reed on Monday Night Raw with a steel chair assault that forced Bronson to cut all ties with the Vision. But this wasn't just about eliminating a partner, this was about Bron establishing himself as the undisputed alpha of the Vision before Brock Lesnar returns. Paul Heyman orchestrated the entire betrayal, planting seeds of division for weeks before Bron finally struck. And now Bronson Reed has promised revenge so complete that Bron's family legacy will be erased. The Vision is fractured. The Brotherhood is broken. And Monday Night Raw is about to become a war zone as two former allies try to destroy each other. I got burned by you, and Bronson Reed is going to make damn sure Bron Breakker feels that burn multiplied by 1,000.